So back to what I was saying. Could be us.
It always gives us great joy as Beyond the Books to be bringing you fresh content and new episodes each and every week, from entrepreneurship skills to talent, and talk about the students that are doing an impact out there. So today on Beyond the Books, we have Bandile Mpila, the outgoing chairperson of PCEs at the University of Eswatini Waliseni campus. Bandile, welcome to Beyond the Books. How are you?
I'm good. Isha, how are you?
I am good. Please tell us a bit about yourself. Which program are you doing at UNESWA? Yeah.
Okay. Once again, honored to be here, Lihle. So my name is Bandile Mpila, and I am a Bachelor of Education student, B.Ed Secondary, specializing in humanities. So I'm a student of history, and I do religious education as well. Yes, so yes, I'm a teacher. Don't I look like a teacher?
Yeah, you do, definitely.
Yeah, thank you for saying that. So yeah, I'm currently doing my final year. Yeah,
Yes, that's nice.
I'm about to leave UNESWA as an undergraduate student.
Mm-hmm. I see. So where does the passion of being PCE come from? Because bona like my events, you attending kinds of routine events, mhlambe hosting flats Mbabane or MNS, they're taking odds. You just out there looking for information, especially with health related issues. What is driving you?
So yeah, well, being a peer counselor and an educator for me is my passion. Possibly the second, or should I say first, to education, but it goes in line with education because it's peer counselors and educators. So when we were introduced first year to our curriculum, introducing to the teaching profession, I think it's CTE 102, it talks about the qualities or the ethics of being a teacher. It talks that as a teacher, naturally, you are a counselor, you are a parent, that means you must be big on this thing because yours is to educate. You are not just limited to the content that you're on the subjects that you are measuring in per se, but you must lead by example wherever you are because you influence society. I also want to believe that you are in the university because of that one particular teacher who influenced you in your journey.
That's right.
Now, bring it to the health aspect, like you said, I believe that in order for us to function, we need to be healthy. Healthy is the basic foundation of any person, really. If the society is sick, do you think we'll have a productive society? Hence, when I came in here in 2021, I want to believe it was the 2nd of November, there was a lot of problems back in 2021 at the university. And the problems was like emanating from strikes, hunger, suicide cases and all of that. So myself, I think sometime in January 2022, I had a problem, a personal problem, I went to the clinic and, I'm someone who conversates with people. Nurses are my friends, so I call them. And then I was talking to them, asking them a lot of questions. And then the nurse said, you know what, you seem to have a lot of questions, not in a bad way, And then she said, you know what, I want to link you up with Mr. Bunene, who is the university counselor. I want you to just talk to him man to man because for me as a lady, I can't handle some of your questions. And then that's when I was able to go to the counseling office and I met with Mr. Gnene for counseling. Yes, because that's another thing. People don't think that when you are a peer counselor, it means you don't go for counseling.
So you were already chairperson by that time?
I wasn't a person by
Okay.
that time. So this is the background of me being a chairperson. So when I went there to Mr. Gnene for counseling, so we talked, talked serious things, men stuff and all of that. And then because I question, I always conversate. And then Mr. Gnene, after the session was done, he said, you know what, actually, at the school, there's something called peer counselors and educators. So when we came here in the school, because of the problems, the closing, the opening, there was no proper structure, most of the guys that were peer counselors, they had graduated, some have left. I think there was only one person who was Notando McDonald, and she was doing her final year. So she was the only peer counselor at the time, the whole university. And then Mr. Gnane said, yeah, this is a program that we have for students. It deals with students. It's part of us as the counseling office. It caters for welfare of students. So you guys are like soldiers on the ground, taking people from the various faculties, taking them to the counseling office. And then he said, yeah, I want you to join this thing, look into this thing. Here it's all about this thing. It shows me the values, they have a mission and they have a vision. And I was like, okay, right, this is something that really aligns with what I really love, because health is one thing that I'm really, really passionate about. And growing up, I've seen how much damaging it is to see people dying, because of health complications or health related reasons. You see that. So I was like, at the university, I really do wish to just have an impact in a certain way, and not just because I'm doing education, but I must also be able to teach people things that are life related, not just something limited to the content as a history student. And then that's when Babegnene said, you know what, come on, I really trust that you guys can bring back and the whole thing of PCEs. Yeah, so it was me, and I think it was Banele Dlamini. We met with Banele as well, because Banele is someone who's also, very much out there. So yeah, and Wenzi and Temavuno, Snengosi, Melanin. So those are the guys, and many others that I'm forgetting. So we started this thing of PCEs. That's where like we were sort of like um raising it from the ground now, because suddenly it has been paused. You see that. And then, yeah, we started going to classes, lectures, asking the lecturer, at least, can we talk to the students who want to introduce something like this, like this, like this. And then that's where we started becoming a team now. And fast forward to the next month, there was a meeting, an induction. They call it an induction, where there are elections for setting up the committee. PCEs, they elect each other. Okay, now we want to elect a committee that will be able to stand in for us, and run things, organize events, and teach, because the university, you can't just teach. You need to have a platform. Maybe say you are so and so, that's why you are organizing this event. So that's where I was first elected to be part of the committee. So before I became chairperson, I started as a treasurer, yeah.
Interesting.
And there I was under the leadership of my friend Mihla Yonke Ngumalo. She was a JMC student like you, but I don't know, she paused, and she's not in the school right now. So I served as a treasurer for that period from 2022, I think, to 2023. So while working there at the counseling office, things started to be quite better, because fast forward to 2022, there were also a rise of other student initiative like Save a Soul Foundation, because of the problems that were happening. There was so much problems. I think those that are in the final years now, they can attest to what I'm saying, because we used to close in, we used to open, close. I think we had 14 months in that academic year alone. So we started these initiatives of going to students, asking for donations. Okay, guys, there is hunger at the university. What can we do? We need to come together, and we need to start now asking for donations and all of that thing.
You also did fundraising.
Yeah, we did that because when Mr. Gnene introduced me to this program of PA counselors, he told me what it's about, but he said largely most of the things you learn while you are partaking in this. And being a peer counselor is just that. In Siswati, they say ufunza uzuyofa. And as a peer counselor, you can't really say, you know what, mina manje, I'm good, I know everything, because you are working with people. There is so much change, there is diversity, you need to embrace all of that. And then through the fundraising, we're able to start programs like the No Hungry Student Program. And coincidentally, in that year, Margaret Lamini, who's the secretary at the counseling office, she was transferred from education to the counseling office, and it was a coincidence. And then we met. So her has been very influential in that office, and even influencing the PCE unit. So yes, I served as a treasurer in that period. We did a lot of things, including the food initiatives, the No Hungry Student, Leave No Hungry Student project, among other things. And of course, we are not just limited to giving people food. We are so much keen on education, because the mandate of the PCEs is to produce healthy and productive graduates for the betterment of the Swazi society. Because when we learn about the background and how it started, they said it started in 2003, at a time where I think the whole country was rampant by a surge in HIV and AIDS related cases. Students used to start at year one. So they say you find that when the person is now 40 years supposed to go out and intern or go to work, they are sick. Now you understand. So student at that time, because of the many problems that they were facing, they came together and say, you know what is it that we can do, to help each other? So they said, you know what, there's something called the peer counselors and educators. These are just a group of students diverse from different faculties who come together and said, you know what, ours is to teach others, is to empower others about different healthy related and academic things, because UNESWA as a space is very huge, it's diverse. You are a first year, you don't know whom to ask, where is this, where is that, you will understand. So yeah, I've served as as a treasurer. It went on, and then recently, when I think it was 2024 last year, right? I think around August. That's when I was elected as the chairperson now. So while serving as treasurer, I've seen a lot of things being improved, and I said, you know what, this thing I wanted to rise in such a way that it has serious impact, because cases like suicide, and other health related things are continuing to ramp at that institution. So I said, you know what, let's continue doing something like this, because it has so many values which I believe personally aligns with what I believe in. Because the counseling office responds to so many things. I think the mandate of the counseling office is to respond to psychosocial needs of students, from academic to personal and even career-wise. Yes.
And what are some misconceptions about peer counseling and health education that you would wish to correct? Look, that would send your corner around campus. Could see people maybe have some misconceptions about peer counselors. Kuthi mhlambe mandaya to any peer ngakhuluma nje ngetinfo leti ngathini. I don't know to sound sick.
Yeah.
Like umuntu afike afune i-counseling ngenfo love ngathi ayikho ngathini mtoba.
Okay. Well, how do I put this? It happens. We have a lot of cases, I think generally when you are working with people are so diverse, you must be in a position to answer to all those questions, but you must have boundaries. Now, I wouldn't really say there's nothing as important that concerns a person. I want to believe that. But, misconceptions about peer counselors per se, maybe someone thinks these people are counseling, like counselors professionally. Let me share light that we do what you call para counseling, which is peer to peer. Cases or things like mjolo, you and I can better handle those,
That's the whole point of having PCEs ukuthi angeke nje uye
Yeah, and say lo mfana udlala ngami stuff. because Babegnene, you probably think I need to talk, sound and mature things. But that doesn't mean the thing about Umcholo is not an issue, because the fact that you are battling with it, it can affect you academically. And we are talking health wise, we know what happens in relationships, right? So there are many misconceptions. First is that one. And secondly, maybe people, they think the counseling office is only limited to a certain number of people, yet it's open and it's free of charge for all students as long as you are UNESWA students, you see. And as a peer counselor, there is a lot that is demanded of you from the counseling office. Like, you need to embrace the values of the counseling office. You must be someone who's confidential, which is another thing. People think if you tell me your Mjono problems, I'm going to tell the streets now and talk it to social media. There's nothing like that, because there are people who, I would say, they are unique in the sense that they have a heart for other people. I think when you work in humanitarian things, initiatives, generally, it means your heart is good with other people. And it means you have confidentiality. You can't just kiss and tell, right? You must be someone who's honest, who's trusted, and all of that. And you must also work hard. So those are the conceptions that I've heard so far. People being skeptical about their issues because they're like, hey, I'm gonna tell this guy, and then he's gonna tell everyone. Yet they don't realize that, because before you and I can talk, I will assure you that, you know what, whatever you say, I'm not going to kiss and tell.
Mm.
Yeah, and yeah.
What about the food side of things? Because at the counseling office, you also provide food like bread to students.
Yes.
And then you hear some people, or you don't hear them, but indlela bato etsanga khona it's gonna be as if kumele nisinike. What can you say about that?
That's not entirely true. It's wrong, actually, because, like, I'm saying the background, the history of how this thing came about. I think you can tell that these were efforts by students, the peer counselors themselves. Those started this thing. Margaret Lamini is a perfect example, because sometimes most of the time, she forks out money from her own pocket, and she's not paid for that thing in that university. So it's very wrong to do that, because the counseling office, it's not mandated, or is not compulsory for it to hand out food. This is just the counseling office saying, you know what, someone can have a problem, and you take them to the counseling office. They are not to seek counseling, but all they want, they are hungry. If you are hungry, can I say it's gonna be okay? No, I need to give you food so that I address the physical need. You understand? So it's very wrong to do that, and we really urge people out there not to do that, because that office works on respect. That is why even the people that works, there are people which also embrace those same values. So yeah, I really frown upon such things.
Mm. And what would you say has been the most challenging part about being chairperson with my PCEs, and the most rewarding part so far?
Yeah. So challenges and rewards. What should I start with? The challenges.
Or start with the rewards.
The rewards.
Challenges.
I think the rewards has been there. Yeah, I've had a bunch of rewards, if I may put it. First and foremost, personally, because this is something that aligns with my values, my philosophy, how I see life. As a person, I have principles myself, my worldview, my personal worldview on how I think things should be in the society with people. And of course, I identify as a humanitarian by nature. I really care about uh, things that concerns people. So I've been rewarded in terms of growth. I had so much exposure through that office, because we do a lot of things like, uh, community outreach, where you get to meet people in serious conditions, the elderly, you go and clean for them, you
You've
help
been
them.
very exposed.
You see, and also career expos, and I've been able to meet influential people in this country, and also the social organizations out there like your FLAS, because we worked with them as social partners. So there's been so much growth to me personally. And another thing, it could be, being a peer counselor, it acts as a watchdog. What do I mean by that? You are able to guard your own self, your behavior. The university, there's a lot that is happening, such that if you do not stand on what you really believe in and how you see life, you'll be easily influenced, you understand? But because I'm a peer counselor, I know that, you know what, I'm not supposed to do this thing because of my position where I stand in. This is wrong as far as I see it. You understand? And you find that most people, they engage in those things, yet it affects even their future outside the institution. So I've been very much careful to lead a healthy and a productive life. So that's number two. Number three, I think it's this thing of adversary intelligence, like I'm saying, since 2021, that institution has been hit by a lot of problems. In fact, the problems goes back even from beyond 2021. So those things, you might not act like they don't affect you in a negative way, but they do. You can't have a situation where you are just here for 2 weeks and then you are closing again, you're going back at home. You understand all those things. So by adversary intelligence, I mean like you are able to cope with difficult and predicaments like that. You understand, you're able to have and grow a thick skin. So that has helped me being a peer counselor because I've interacted with people, I've done my analysis, and I hear from people's stories. I learn a lot, and the exposure that I've also been exposed to. Yeah, so I would say those are the things that has really helped me. The rewards, from and other benefits. Obviously, I can't really say I'm just limited to this. There is a lot because it has actually provided me with so much growth that even as an aspiring teacher one day, I should not be limited to that. I got to discover so much skills that I possess as an individual. You understand? And then the challenges are always there.
Yeah.
There's always the challenges. You are working with people. That's just a
As a
challenge.
leader.
And as a leader, obviously, because you have to strike a balance between your academics and what you do at the counseling office. I'm not the type of a person that I want to fail. You understand? Wherever I go, I just want to stand out.
Excel.
Yes, I really love what I'm studying. Maybe not the whole teaching profession, but I love history as a student. You understand? It opens my mind to a lot of things. So I want to be competitive in class, not in a bad way. So the striking a balance has been a problem initially, but I managed, to be able to say, this is how I'm going to push everything. And also because of the misconceptions, like you said, people kind of like thinking certain things about you, things you might not entirely understand or know, but eventually you grow over that because really you cannot just do things as per people's dictates. So and another challenge is what you say as a leader. It's not really easy. It's not easy to tell people to bend. We usually have events at the counseling office.
But they're like, out.
Exactly, so, as a leader, how you get to nurture the vision and transfer it to the people you are leading, you understand? So when we started this thing, we're minor people, but then new students came in, the second years, the third year, they loved what we're doing, and then now we started becoming a huge group. And while we're celebrating that, then problems emerged because now you are working with a lot of people, right? So yeah, and when you are organizing events, it's always a problem. Just like this, I think next week on the 1st of December is World AIDS Day. So you can't do that thing alone. You need students' engagement and a student to partake in this thing. So people, when you talk about health things, they are not really singing to that tune. You talk about, say, guys, please donate 2 rand so that we wear ribbons. We're in solidarity with people we've lost through HIV, and it's people, they find that thing sensitive. So it's not easy to always articulate sensitive information. Yeah.
Mhm.
Mm.
I get you. So, you also, on another note, you also had led business here of selling noodles around campus.
Why are you reminding me that? Because
Khona lapho
I like
wasisoba limit ni offset nupni.
Oh yeah, people call me Mr. Noodles. Yeah, I've been Mr. Noodles for some time, but not 2 minutes, because I remember Bandile going to UNESWA FM. Oh yeah, I think I went to UNESWA FM one time, and they interviewed me about that because my business was really good. Yeah, that was sometime back in 2022 before I became a treasurer. Oh, yeah, before I became a treasurer, because even at the counseling office, they said, you know what, let's pick this guy because he's good with people. He's having so much sales. And that time I was staying off camp in Guane Park. So the noodles business really helped me a lot because I used to commute with that man. But like, we used to have strikes at the university. You find that now we're going 3 months without allowances, and how am I going to get money? So yeah, it was really good now that you remind me of my business. Unfortunately, I got too much engaged and changed in terms of policy. I think it was back in 2023 or 2024 when the warden said you can't sell from her house now, you understand? And for me, my business, how I used to run it, people will call me and I'll go and deliver. So I didn't want to be mixed up in all of that, and plus the amount of work that I get to engage in, with people. So yeah, I miss my noodles because yeah, it was really good. I really enjoyed that. With business, you get to grow, you get to learn a lot, of course, let alone that you get to make that smaller yana money, which keeps you, well, in terms of finances. But yeah, it was really good noodles business. So I've switched from being Mr. Noodles now, I guess.
Okay. And if you were to restart this business, what would you do differently this time?
This time around, let's see, there's a lot of competition in business, right? You have the tuck shop, but when I started my noodles business, the tuck shop was there, but people used to buy my noodles. So I'll have to come with something different in terms of marketing. I believe with business, you just have to be good with marketing. Also, another thing that I did not say is that apart from me getting busy and changing in terms of decisions from the warden, it was also, when you're in business, you really need to have a, a supplier that is constant. You go and buy bread today, they are telling you it's 15 rand. And then decisions come, parliament passes a law that says bread tomorrow you should sell it 17 rand. And you are selling the bread to your consumers. So you see, it affects that thing. And you are dealing with students here. You can't charge as much as Pick and Pay is charging. You have to consider that these are students. So what I would like to do differently this time around, I think I would really market my business and really put so much effort into it, because business demands your time. I couldn't really do a lot of things. Now I have books, I have PCEs, I have
Yeah, it's a lot.
it's a lot. It's a lot. Yeah.
You also volunteer for organizations. What exactly do you do, and which organizations have you worked with so far?
Oh yeah, I very much volunteer in many NGOs that are related to health, like Bandwana Initiative Eswatini. Back in 2022, I got the chance to be a VMMC recruitment agent or a VMMC mobilizer. So VMMC is this voluntary medical circumcision thing. So I used to recruit guys and say, "Gents, come on, let's go and cut so that we are clean, and we are in healthy relationships." So that's one thing I do. I'm an advocate of VMMC. And of course, through with the social partners, the counseling office, I've also been able to work with FLAS as a youth action member, member in Babane. I work with FLAS, and there is also being an ambassador for HIV and AIDS, because I'm really, really passionate about that. and I really want to see a change in terms of the health system in this country. So yeah, it's mostly been those organizations, and of course, I also, because as an aspiring educator, one day there is Campus Crusade for Christ. They are a Christian mission, so I work with them. They have this program called Success at School. I usually go to schools and I teach the kids because I love teaching as well.
You are a teacher at the end of the day.
Yes.
So now that you are an outgoing chairperson na PCEs, what is next for Bandile Mpila? What are you gonna be busy with? What can we look forward to?
Oh, yeah. That's a very tough question because, being an undergraduate student in education, you have to think about the future. We know the socio-economic challenges in this country, especially with the teaching profession. So Bandile Mpila has discovered a lot about himself. Bandile Mpila is really looking forward to continue venturing and working with organizations, be it volunteering, be it serving, because I'm really keen on that. And also, I would really love to venture into business because I seem to love business. You can't survive without money these days. So there's still a lot for me. If money is there, I would really love to further my studies because I think recently my HOD in the Faculty of Education, because she sees what I do around, and she said, you know what, you need to come back and take out some of our courses and further your studies, and come back and work with us because they said they want to open uh, a counseling clinic at the university. So those are things that I'm still aligning myself with. It's either I venture and further my studies in my education or I switch into counseling and I do it as a full-time thing. But humanitarian issues is one thing that I'll continue working on.
Mm.
Yes.
One thing that I admire about you is that you are a very passionate person, and it looks like whatever you do, you just place in Gurveko, but you know what, Nyalo, I'm doing this. So all the best in whatever that you still plan on doing, and the amazing things that you've been doing for the counseling office. I'm sure Babegnen is really proud of you.
Well, thank you so much. Ngiyabonga kakhulu nami nje. I think it's not just me because you need to acknowledge also the people, because when you are working, it's not just a you thing, but it's a we kind of a thing. The counseling office and the PCE unit wouldn't be where it is today if it was not those 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people coming together and say, you know what, let us let us make this thing come alive, so yeah, I'm really honored and I feel humble for you to actually say that, because it shows that what we are doing after all is not just in the shadows, but people can see it. So thank you.
So, guys, before we wrap up today's episode, Bandile, please say any words of encouragement, maybe to someone who's watching you right now and looks up to you. What are any words of encouragement that you would say? Any message that you just have for them?
Oh yeah, I would say to everyone, to the viewers out there, guys, you should really believe in yourself, your potential as a person, especially if you are studying here at the university. Look at the university as a platform for you to actually discover and really venture into your skills, your horizons, not just be limited to what you're studying per se, because we have so much skills as people. I think as African people, we have what you call the natural skills. It's just that you need to find a way of nurturing them in this modern world. So I would really say believe in yourself, never give up. Yeah, because you need to develop the skill of adversary adversity intelligence, because there's a lot of problems. One thing about life, there's always gonna be problems, but you should not give up. You should work hard and have a learning mindset so that you are able to grow. Yeah.
Thank you so much for that. And that is it, guys. I'm Lisha Dlamini, and do make sure that you watch the other episode that we're still gonna produce, because students are doing amazing things beyond the classroom. See you next time.
So back to what I was saying.